From whether to keep eye contact with a lion to what to do if you encounter a wolf, today we look at tips on how to survive against wild animals. Number 13. Sharks. Scientists and wildlife experts agree that sharks are among the most misunderstood and mischaracterized creatures on Earth. Despite their reputation in movies and popular culture as carnivorous monsters, sharks are responsible for less than 10 human losses per year. In fact, only 20 species of sharks out of the more than 150 on our planet are known to be capable of going after people. Despite this unknown aspect of their persona, plenty of frightening incidents have been recorded. So the experts have come up with a set of things you should keep in mind if you ever come face to face with one of these formidable lords of the sea. First, the conventional wisdom about sharks smelling blood in the water is no joke. Avoid swimming in the ocean if you have an open cut or wound. Second, if you do encounter a shark, do not attempt to flee by turning your back. This will cause the shark to associate you with the prey it regularly targets. Instead, move slowly away if you can. If you cannot move away, and the shark has you in its grasp, strike it forcefully in the gills or eyes. These body parts are particularly sensitive for a shark, so a blunt hit to either of them will discombobulate it and give you the time you need to slip away. Number 12. Ostriches. A bird of prey distantly related to the velociraptor, the average ostrich stands at just over 9 feet tall and weighs about 330 pounds. On its two-toed feet, it carries talons that operate like 4-inch-long retractable knives, which can quickly rip apart smaller animals, including humans. Not only can they run at speeds of up to 30 miles per hour, which can often allow them to catch up with safari vehicles, but they can also maintain a steady running pace for up to 10 miles. For these reasons, it's unwise to corner an ostrich, as that's when it's most likely to become dangerous. While it's common to hear the familiar advice to play dead around an ostrich, it is also vital to remember that it is safer to lie on your stomach, as your stomach would be more susceptible to the quick-thinking bird's signature talons. Number 11. Wolves. Pack hunters by nature, wolves are unlikely to be found wandering on their own. They travel in groups across large swaths of land in order to maximize the amount of prey they can hunt down. As with aggressive dogs, you should not stare into a wolf's eyes. It will interpret this action as a challenge to its authority, whether you intend it or not. Wolves will search for opportunities to catch you off guard, which is why you should avoid turning your back on them if you can. Wave a flapping object around like a jacket to create a perimeter around yourself. As you back away, be careful not to lose your balance. The sudden loss of your perimeter might make you vulnerable to the wolf's sudden, collective ambush. Number 10. Deer, moose, and elk. In addition to the over 50 instances of loss of life attributed to interactions between humans and non-livestock animals such as deer, moose, and elk each year, these animals are also responsible for countless vehicle-related accidents all over the world on a nearly daily basis. The quality that makes the males in each of these species noticeably more dangerous is their antlers, which are pointed and durable. So if a buck charges at you, hold a large item like a heavy coat, a backpack, or a bicycle between yourself and the animal to hold off the pierce or force of its antlers. Once you have enough space, make yourself appear larger and back away slowly. Despite their cuteness, it is a reckless decision to approach the fawns of any of these animals due to how likely their parents are to become hostile towards a strange presence around their young. Number 9. Lions. If you ever come upon a lion, experts say it's best not to break eye contact with the formidable feline. While holding its gaze, lift your arms or clothing above your head to create the impression that you are much larger than the lion. When speaking or making noise, use a commanding, authoritative voice and keep your limbs moving. While this type of tactic may make you look foolish from a distance, the threatening or irritating effects it has on the lion may just save your life. Number 8. Bulls. Due to the proclivity of yet another age-old myth, many people are under the false impression that bulls react in a specifically aggressive way to the color red. This is neither true of red nor any other color. What bulls are actually reacting to is the movement of a person or object regardless of its color. This is why, if you find yourself on the wrong side of a charging bull, it is wise to remain as still as you possibly can. Then, very steadily, use a hat or a loose piece of clothing to draw the bull closer to you. Once it gets close enough, throw the item as far as you can so that the bull will chase it, not you. Remaining stationary in the face of such an incredible force of nature will go against your instincts to run, but it could also keep you from getting trampled. Number 7. Bears. Because of the rarity with which bears harm human beings, it is easy for some people to become too comfortable around these large, furry beings due to their perceived warmth and social behavior. But even some of the most famous wildlife enthusiasts have fallen victim to bear aggression due to a lack of respect for the mammal's strength and need for space. Just like with several other animals on this list, it is unwise to attempt to outrun a bear, especially given that bears are capable of reaching running speeds of 20 to 30 miles per hour. Instead, you should immediately play dead. Crawl into a fetal position with either your arms or shoulders covering your neck. Remain unresponsive and in this position even if the bear makes an attempt to physically move you. Do not get up to leave until you're certain the bear is gone. Number 6. Gorillas. Just like humans, gorillas are known to celebrate and protect the family unit. They are also extremely territorial. Because of this, they will attack anyone who does not appear to respect the rules of their dominion. This is why it's best to always appear obedient before a gorilla by sitting down and making yourself appear as small as possible, compared to your fellow primate's significant size. If you can get a sense that the gorilla may be preparing to attack you, curl up into a ball as you would with a bear. Due to the gorilla's prideful nature, it is unlikely to cause harm to anything that appears helpless. Number 5. Bees. Bees are most likely to sting you if they perceive you as a threat to their hive, whether you intend to be or not. If it's a nice day and you're just passing by a beehive, you're less likely to attract their attention if you are wearing light colors. Dark colors stand out prominently within the range of a bee's limited eyesight. But the best place to hide from one or more bees that won't leave you alone is in a dark area. The absence of light negatively affects a bee's ability to determine where it is going, just like with humans. Number 4. Scorpions. While most scorpions inspire fear due to their appearances, some are lethal enough to back up their sinister appearance. Among the most lethal scorpions are those with narrow curved tails, yellow or amber coloring, and 8 legs. The worst among them often inhabit dry, desert environments. If you live in such an area, be careful to avoid reaching into dark indoor spaces with your bare hands or arms. Children and the elderly are typically most vulnerable to the effects of scorpion venom, which include burning pain followed by numbing and fever-like symptoms. If you are stung by a scorpion, hold the wound under an ice pack after applying an antiseptic. Number 3. Alligators and crocodiles. While scientists are continually annoyed by many people's inability to tell the difference between alligators and crocodiles, it turns out the way to survive an assault by either is pretty much the same. To avoid being spotted once you're aware of the alligator or crocodile's presence, do not splash or cause too much water movement. If you're unlucky enough to find yourself ensnared by one of these predators, keep in mind that it's impossible to try to pry open their elongated jaws. Their jaw muscles are among the strongest in the living animal kingdom. Just like with sharks, it is best to target their eyes first, as if it's easier to break the creature's concentration this way. Another sensitive area is the throat, which is likely to become exposed if the alligator or crocodile is thrashing while attacking you. In the event of an encounter on land, unlike with previous entries on this list, it is best to run away, making as much noise as possible. And remember to run in a zigzag pattern as you flee. Number 2. Elephants and rhinoceroses. Because of the elephant's widely documented intelligence and capacity for affection, many people do not consider them threats. But elephants are also very protective of their young, so much so that they will not hesitate to eliminate a perceived threat. In fact, elephants are responsible for more than 500 human losses per year. Thankfully, they are also especially communicative, so we can train ourselves to recognize when they are telling us to stay away. For example, if you come upon an elephant with its ears swung back and its trunk curled, that means it's adopting an aggressive posture. If it approaches you in this state, find a large barrier like a boulder or a base of a tree to hide behind without turning your back. The same approach can apply when dealing with a rhinoceros. which due to its distinct skull structure, has horrible eyesight and can often mistake a human being for an encroaching threat. And just like with most bears, outrunning a rhinoceros simply isn't an option, especially when considering that it can reach speeds of almost 40 miles per hour on land. Number 1. Snakes. One of the most common phobias is the fear of snakes. One would think the fact that snakes kill more than 1,000 people every year would be enough to make everyone steer clear of these iconic reptiles. But it turns out that the overwhelming majority of snake bites occur when people attempt to catch or engage with a snake. And while most species of snakes are not poisonous or dangerous to humans, it is highly unwise to risk arousing the anger of a lethal one. If you think a snake may be trailing you, forcefully stomp your feet on the ground. A snake's relationship to the vibrations it detects through the ground will dictate its movements, so it will likely avoid you if you are the source of repetitive stomping. In the event that you're the victim of a snake bite, and you have reason to believe it may be poisonous, do not attempt to orally suck the poison from the wound. This is a false remedy. Constantly wash the bite with clean water and find immediate medical attention.